Welcome back to our channel. This is episode 1 of a new series where we are going to be renovating this semi-detached property in Glasgow. We have been renovating and building extensions in people's homes for the past 5 years, and it is finally our turn because this property is ours. So we are going to take you through the full process. This property needs the whole shebang. Rewire, replumb, new boiler, new kitchen, new bathroom, some media wall, and even the windows and doors. So why don't you come in and I'll show you how we've been living for the past few years. Promise you won't laugh. We bought this property 2 years ago with the intention of doing a double-storey wraparound extension on this, but after looking at the market, speaking to estate agents, we actually did even get the drawings and planning permission done, but we just wouldn't get our money back unless we stayed here for the next 10-20 years with the current market, and that's just not on the cards for us. We have got some other plans coming up in the future. This property sat empty for 10 years before we got the keys, so it's very like going into a time machine when we go through this door. Let's go back into the 80s. So as I've been a builder for the past 5 years, this is the perfect opportunity doing our own property where we can be as transparent as possible because we're not dealing with customers' budget and GDPR and all that kind of thing. So we are going to be giving as much advice and tips as possible if you're planning on doing your own renovation, where you can save money, where you can't save money, what is essential and what is just a desire. I can hear you cringing already at the wallpaper. Now it's a lovely and bright hall with that big window there coming right up the stairs. We'll start off in bedroom number 1. Now if I don't say so myself, we are pretty busy people keeping up with our business and all of our social media channels, and we like a holiday or two. So this room has been pretty much left like this for the past 2 years. We don't even have wardrobes or anything to put our clothes. We literally got these cheap hanging rails from IKEA. So the plan for this room is we're going to strip all the wallpaper, we're going to be doing a new window, we're going to be doing new skirtings and facings throughout the full property. So we'll be starting in this room. In this bigger room, this is our current bedroom where the magic happens. It's a very, very large bedroom space as you can see. So we're going to absolutely maximise that as much as possible. Over here, we are going to reverse the door so it opens this way, so when you walk in you can see the bedroom. This cupboard is going to go, it's a very shallow cupboard and it basically just backs on to the one in the hall, so we're going to get onto the whole cupboard in a wee minute. So that'll be blocked up and we're going to have from wall to wall bespoke wardrobes. Now the cupboard in the hall, you might not think it, but this is probably going to be our most expensive part of the project. Behind all the jackets, there isn't Narnia. What it is our boiler, our current boiler from the 1980s. It does work. The hot water is very slow. We do stink a wee bit sometimes from time to time, but that's going to be getting relocated. As I said, we're going to gain a bit of space from the cupboard that backs onto this from the bedroom. We're going to put the tumble dryer in here, and this is going to be like a laundry, jacket, storage area. Mr. Boiler is going to be going to the bin, unfortunately, and we're going to be relocating him downstairs, which is where we're going to head right now. I just want to point out, we are on a very tight budget, and remember, I will reveal the budget that we've got at the end of this video. Now, this banister may stay, but if we've got the money and we've got the chonga there, we will be spending it on this and hopefully maybe getting some glass done there. So as I said, it was an elderly couple that stayed in this property, so the bathroom is relatively new, however, has been adapted to suit their needs later on in life. Plan for in here is we're very limited with space because of the staircase which is right above it. So we're going to move the toilet over to where the shower is. The sink is going to stay in the same location, and we're going to be having a bath from wall to wall, and we're going to be having a shower over here. The towel radiator is going to move over to this wall, the same with the door. Now the tricky thing about this bathroom is as well, we have got a hobbit door, so we've got Narnia up the stair and we've got the Shire in here.
Do you remember the Shire, Mr. Furlong?
And in here is basically where our gas meter is, so we can't even pull space from there because we're stuck with the gas mains. Let's go into the kitchen. This is probably going to be one of the coolest transformations. Now as you can see, this is a very dated kitchen. This is from the 90s, and you can imagine there has been lovely homemade stews, pots of soup and Christmas dinners had from the wee granny that probably stayed here before us. And this is what we are going to do. This big window here is going to be coming out, and we're going to be putting a single back door in, and we're going to enlarge the window here to let some natural light in. All these wall units are going to be going. It's going to be a galley style kitchen. We're going to be having the sink, dishwasher, washing machine and cupboard storage space over this side of the kitchen space, and this is going to be like our utility side of the kitchen if you like. We're going to be switching the gas hob over here, and this is going to be more of the working station of the kitchen. We're going to be taking out the fridge, and again, a structural change that's going to happen in here. We're going to be taking down this wall and stealing the space from the living room and bringing this wall flush. That means we can get our larder units in. We're going to have a double oven, microwave, as well as an integrated fridge. And again, that's going to gain us so much more worktop space. Doorway coming into the kitchen, we're going to be putting new doors throughout the full property, but here we're going to have half glass, and as well as that, we're going to have the exact same in the living room, which we're moving on to now. You can see it's a very large living room. Now, again, we're going to be losing this space here where we just keep a whole bunch of junk. Then we're going to be flushing this off because that is going to come forward from the kitchen space. We're going to be using this void space that we've got for the cable and pipes to go all the way up the stair, because this is we're relocating the boiler down the stairs. Such a shame to this lovely fireplace, but this will be going. Now, we don't, obviously, as I said, we don't know what we're going to be doing with this property, whether we're going to be selling it or putting it up to let. Now, we don't want our tenants, if they move in, to have an open flame, and it's very unsafe with gas in the house. So we're going to be getting rid of that. We're going to be flushing off the chimney breast wall and having a media wall here. Then one of the more challenging things that we're going to be doing in the property is replacing all the windows. Now, believe it or not, I have never replaced the style of what bay window that this is before, so we're probably going to be calling in some help and some special guests to help us do this bay window. Now, as well as that, we are going to be having new flooring, new radiators, new light fittings, new sockets, new switches, and everything else all throughout the property, which brings me on to my next point, the budget. Now, budget is very important when it comes to renovating a project, and it's something that you must really consider and look into to make sure you're getting the correct return on your investment. And obviously, we looked into many different avenues what to do with this project. We even looked into doing double story, single story, and even a loft conversion. Now, we noticed that the money that we would put into that, we wouldn't be getting back necessarily when it came to sell or rent out in this area. So it's very important that you look at your location and different things. Now, we have a very strict, tight budget for this project. Now, as every project I always recommend to our customers and to ourselves, make sure you take note of this at the start, because things can very quickly run away from you. You might say you only want to spend this much, however, if you don't keep track of it, you can very quickly, your eyes can be bigger than your belly, and you can end up buying unnecessary expensive objects and items for your property. So it's important that you get the essentials right and then look at everything else afterwards. Now, our budget for this project is going to be around £15,000, and we also have a contingency of £5,000, which means we're in £15,000 to £20,000 price range for the whole project. Now, bearing in mind, we are going to be calling in lots of favours from all of our friends, and as well as that, we're going to be doing most of the work ourselves. Now, I can hear all the property experts and gurus saying that doing all the work yourself, you still need to account for that. Now, I'm very fortunate, thanks to you lot who all watch our channel, that income is supported, so we are able to do the work ourselves, and as well as that, we run multiple projects on at the one time, so we are absolutely fine and covered in that aspect. But that is just something to consider if you're going to be taking time off work to do the project yourself, the loss of incomes that might be happened because of that. You might just be cheaper getting someone in to do it for you. Now, bearing in mind, this isn't how a property should look before you start a renovation. We have still got a lot of our personal belongings, things like the sofa, the couch, all of our clothes that all need to be removed, put into storage and covered up. We are even going to be moving out to an Airbnb for a couple of weeks during the process of the renovation. And in a couple of days time, we have got the builders coming, where we're going to be starting in the kitchen area and doing the slap through and all the structural work first. Then we're going to try and get the kitchen back together, and then we're going to be moving on to the living room, doing the downstairs of the property, all the windows, the rewire, the replumb, so on, so forth. So as I've been a builder for the past 5 years, this is the perfect opportunity doing our own property, where we can be as transparent as possible, because we're not dealing with customers' budget and GDPR and all that kind of thing. So we are going to be giving as much advice and tips as possible if you're planning on doing your own renovation, where you can save money, where you can't save money, what is essential and what is just a desire. So this one's going to be a belter. Stay tuned, and I'll hopefully see you in future videos.